Today is Tuesday, May 7th. The title of this video is Never Sell Your Silver for Dollars Again. There's a gentleman that has produced a series of videos online. His name is Chris Duane. Very popular guy. Um, he produced something called the Silver Bullet and the Silver Shield. And I mean, he did an incredible job by going into various reasons why silver is the most important metal, why it has the most opportunity for you increasing your wealth, and just a number of other um, perspectives, not only on silver, but he goes into a lot of different things regarding our political system, our monetary system, um, just a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, it's hard really to put my finger on anything in particular that he focuses on because he kind of focuses on everything. He did an excellent job. That's really all I can say about him. This is one of the videos that he did. It's called Silver is Money. I'm just letting it play in the background so that you can get a visual of what he has incorporated into his video while I talk. The fact that silver money is purchasing silver only, there's multiple reasons why we're doing this. Aside from the fact that silver is actual money, the same way gold is money, the fundamentals of silver, as far as it being an element necessary as a raw material, and the things that we're using in our global society, basically makes it and distinguishes it from everything else. It distinguishes it from gold. It distinguishes it from oil as far as a resource that the world needs that's undervalued. It's undervalued because the price to obtain it currently is very low, and it does not reflect the real value fundamentally, from the supply and demand perspective or just the monetary perspective in general. So, needless to say, the value will be reflected at some point, and what silver money is doing specifically is creating the demand by organizing millions of people to buy consistently, month after month after month. That's what silver money is really focused on. The reason that I'm pointing out what Chris Duane has done is because he helps to give a clearer understanding of why. Silver money is giving the platform, providing the platform through which we can collectively obtain physical silver and spread that wealth out amongst masses of people. That's what silver money is aiming to accomplish. As I did the last video, which was called Silver Takeover, 60 million members, I went into detail regarding how many people it would actually take to join our group in order to absorb at least half of the existing supply of silver that is currently available. One of the things I did not mention in the video is the way that the 1 billion ounces of silver that is available comes to be. Um, I'm going to pull up a page from the Silver Institute here momentarily, just to give a little bit more in-depth analysis to the way that that 1 billion ounces um, is provided as supply. This is the Silver Institute's website. One of the informational resources that we use to know what supply and demand is all about. They've actually added finally the 2012 information for mining production and just total overall demand and supply. So we can look at 2012 now. We can basically see that this old silver scrap number, this represents recycled silver. The coin that you see on the Silver Money Takeover graphic on our Facebook page is from Ohio Precious Metals. Ohio Precious Metals uses 100% recycled silver, and they produce it. Their refinery is in the United States. So those rounds are made in the US. I had mentioned that in the takeover video at the end. I just wanted to point out that, we definitely believe in buying US whenever possible. When it comes down to it, silver is just silver. So we're ultimately looking to buy up all the silver that is available through our collective effort as a group, just millions of us buying simultaneously and buying consistently every month. That's really what our aim is. But the reason I'm pointing out recycled is because recycled makes up a large chunk of the supply. It's a fourth. So a quarter of the billion ounces that is available is coming from recycled silver. And as I mentioned in a previous video, recycled silver is the silver that people sell when they go to coin shops, when they go to jewelry shops, when they go to pawn shops. Anytime someone sells physical coins, jewelry, anything that has silver content in it to a jewelry shop, to a coin shop, etc., it becomes recycled silver scrap. Now, there are other, contributing areas of the economy that it comes from, but that's one of the largest parts that it's coming from. So I want to clarify and get into more detail regarding exactly what Silver Money is attempting to do. See, if millions of us are buying silver, let's exclude what comes from recycled just for a moment. That would leave 700 and roughly 50 million ounces that's available. In the Silver Money Takeover video, I indicated that 60 million members only purchasing or only investing in our $25 monthly investment plan, we would collectively absorb 500 million ounces at an average price of $27 per ounce. And right now, silver is actually trading at $24 per ounce, so I just took the average between 24 and 30 to create the $27 price. So let's assume that we're doing that. If we're absorbing 500 million of the 750 million ounces, that means that the demand for industrial production would have to suffer in order to supply the demand that would come from coins and metals, which is the 500 million ounces that I'm referring to. If we created that demand, you can see here on this line where it says coins and metals, this is where that demand would go. So we can see in 2012 the demand for physical in the form of coins and metals actually dropped from 2011. I mean, that's interesting just to know that. So what this means is that the opportunity is really incredible, because if we create new demand, demand is always going to be met. So what that will mean is that people that are selling for whatever their reasons are, if they're selling back into the market, that will go to the old silver scrap column. and that silver will be melted down, and this would be added on to this column here, because the old metal that is recycled would naturally go into coins, bars, and medallions. So it would contribute to the new demand that we create for coins and for rounds, for medallions, for bars, whatever you want to call it. If we create new demand, the weak hands are selling silver. So they're putting silver into the recycled column. The strong hands are holding silver. That's us. We're putting that demand into this column. So what you'll see is that the demand will shift. If we created that demand, let's say next year, so starting from now until next year, or let's just say that we started from January of this year until next year. Let's say that we're measuring from January 2013 until December of 2013, and that we currently have the demand of 500 million ounces that I mentioned in the takeover. What that would mean is that something is going to have to shift, because there's only 787 million ounces of silver actually being mined. So that's what's coming out of the ground. The rest of it is coming from the people that are selling. So we'll get a chunk of that. Let's say we absorb all of this, and it's going into strong hands because we're not selling. So we represent the strong hands. We're not selling. Mining is only 787 million ounces. So we absorb all of this recycled scrap, and we also absorb a chunk of what's coming from mining production. So that means that these other areas, which is industrial, photography, jewelry, silverware, they are going to change. You would see these numbers change, because the demand that we create in this column of coins and metals would absorb and overwhelm the demand coming from anywhere else. Demand is created. Demand always is met with the supply somehow. So it would have to come from somewhere. If we created that level of demand, it would be met. That's why it's important that people understand how powerful the silver money takeover is. If we're creating that demand, we are changing the way that silver is perceived. And we're also putting silver into strong hands. So you'll see all of these numbers change. You'll see recycled scrap change. Because if all of this is being absorbed by our new demand, that means that we're not selling back into the market. So none of the silver that we hold is going back into that column. And I know that the topic of this video is that we're never going to sell silver for dollars again. And I'm just breaking this down to explain how we're going to do it. This is how we're doing it. We're not selling our silver, period. Our exit strategy consists of us holding on to silver until the value is reflected in the price. In other words, physical supply and demand will at some point overwhelm the prices that you see reflected through the futures market. And you'll see that market collapse, and you'll see the physical market take over. And that's what silver money takeover is all about. So we're never selling. Facebook.com/GetRichSlow, YouTube.com/SilverMoney2013. Our Twitter handle is @SilverMoney2013. Email address is silvermoney@optimum.net. You can reach us from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at 718-509-9793. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. God bless. Keep stacking.